And yes, it's very good. It's reiterating the ideas because of all the emotional attachment to the words of the past and how they're arranged. And it's not so much the words, it's, the intent of the individuals attached who have attached themselves to these ideas and use them. Some people have good intentions, they really do, but they still don't see the bigger picture. In other words, you can have, many Muslims, many Christians, many Catholics, and these can be really good, sincere people, honest, sincere people, and they want to do the right thing. But at the same time, they're promoting, the Kalaum God and all the deception. This is what they don't see. They're thinking that they're promoting something good and holy and all these things. Well, it's not so. You see, they don't know. They're just looking at the marketing ploy that has taken place for lifetimes, and so that becoming the difference. In other words, recognizing, even though something looks good, sounds good, or whatever, what is the intent of the individuals? And it's not only in that, it's in everything. It's in politics, we know religion and education. It's in the food that is grown, etc. You look at, the food products and how they're marketed, and even the so-called organic and health stuff. You don't know. You have to really research and, take a look. And this is where we'll be doing our own here. This is the idea, and everybody can do their own too, because then you know. And so just because it's a pretty package in the store and says organic doesn't mean it's so. Not at all. I mean, it sounds good to our minds, but is it? So I don't know. I'm not going to investigate everything, and each person can decide for themselves. So, and you do the best you can. And sometimes, hey, I'm going to eat potato chips or whatever. It's just part of it. It's no big deal. I take that on myself, and each person does. And so, again, reiterating the ideas, because of the unseen emotional attachment that people have, still parts of them thinking that, because the Vatican and, even the monarchy, the United States government, whatever, on certain holidays, Easter especially, they do these religious ceremonies and people get caught up in them. And Christmas time, supposedly Jesus's birthday and all this stuff. All this stuff is make believe. It's all made up, and it's just words. And the true reality life is to be seen aside from the words and ideas, even what I'm writing here. But it's the intent and reference that's important, and there's no one really else on the planet that really has that with what they're saying. They're saying a lot of nice things, good things, but their intent isn't there, and they don't really see it or have the experience. Theirs is like a spiritual thing or whatever, etc. And a lot of them are bought off, like the Dalai Lama and other ones, etc. They're just into marketing ploy, getting people to agree to the WorldKontrollers. And so this is the test for each individual, and don't expect it to be figured out for you. Each person has to do that for themselves. It's very, very important. We each need a challenge, otherwise we become passive, and that's not the idea. And as we share, the idea is not to, promote something, do something, whatever, like I'm doing down here. And as people come along, it's not to promote, supporting others in a particular way, but not living their lives, etc., and making them passive. That's the difference. Each person learns to do their own, and that's very real. So again, each person needs the challenge, or they become passive. They start to depend upon others, etc., and that's not going to work. You're making these people passive. You're making the ideas passive, etc. You help them along a little bit, like your parents, but at some point they got to do it for themselves. They really got to step up, and they've got to take part for themselves. So this is where it's very important, just like what you're doing. Everyone is doing their part in sharing this, if it's the information, if it's the experiences, or doing something physically, etc., because of this world. And just like Jeremy's experience, sitting around a table, yeah, that's the idea that I presented a long time ago, save the planet Earth, and who will step up to the table and do that. And it's interesting that Jeremy's experiences with an oval table, well, those are the ovals that Abe and I have created for years. We don't do the circles and whatever. In King Arthur's day, it was the round table. And to be part of the round table, to be part of the privilege, you might say, that would sacrifice their life or whatever, you had to do good deeds. Well, that was in those days. And so, it's the new nowness right now, and paying attention and learning to see more than just something that looks and sounds good. So again, we have some of the people here that were in Eckankar, and we see that, it's taken a big transition, and that's okay. So you see what not to do. That's very important, to see what not to do. So everything's okay. We're in this new moment, and it's really a big privilege to take part in it, step up and take the risk every moment and pay attention. And so again, Rebazar is implying these emotional attachments to these ideas, whether it's Rumi or Jesus or Muhammad or whoever heck it is. The religions have taken all that stuff over and attached tap lines to the people involved in that, and the spiritual paths and the Reikis and all these things like that. They're all tap lined, but they look good. But what happens is that promoting that stuff, it's not good. It's not good at all. And so this is where you become more aware, and you learn to see what makes sense as you promote something. Yeah. And so you help a lot, because again, you are part of the great witnesses, you and others that step up, because this is needed. Witnesses are needed. I can't just sit here and say what I do. It has to be backed up. It has to be others saying, yeah, this is our focus. This is what it is, all is, the real guides, etc. Need help for others to say that too, you see? Yeah, then there becomes a difference, and people start to compare and start to see the difference and start to make sense of it, because on the real side, they will become more aware and utilize that awareness through all their bodies so they can eventually recognize what's real. It's a huge process.